Okay, let's dive into that recent match between Punjab Kings and Royal Challengers Bengaluru. Molampur Stadium, right? Sounds like it
Yeah.
was a pretty big one in terms of the playoff picture.
Oh, absolutely. RCB, they really needed this one, to get a stronger foothold in those top spots.
Yeah.
And for Punjab Kings, well, they were kind of fighting to stay in the race, really. Stakes are definitely high.
Right, right. And RCB won the toss, chose to bowl. The pitch was described as a bit on the slow side. How does that usually play out?
Well, a slower pitch, it often means the ball doesn't come onto the bat quite as nicely.
Yeah.
Batsmen have to generate more of their own power. Timing becomes like super crucial.
Mm-hmm.
And, spinners often come into the game more. For the chasing team, it means you can't afford to lose too many early wickets, need to build partnerships carefully.
Okay, so that sets the scene for RCD chasing down Punjab's 157. They got there in the end, and you mentioned this win really shakes up the standings.
It really does. Yeah, RCB jumped up to number 3. 10 points now. And what's interesting is how well they're playing away from home. That's often a good sign.
Shows adaptability, doesn't it? Being able to win in different conditions.
Exactly.
But flip side, that's Punjab's 5th loss now. That puts them in a bit of a tough position, playoff-wise.
Yeah, it's definitely an uphill climb for them from here. Every game becomes almost a must-win, They need to find some form and fast.
So Punjab posts 157. On that slowish pitch, maybe you'd think, okay, that's competitive.
You might, yeah. It wasn't a bad score given the conditions.
But RCB's chase, described as very effective. What was the key, do you think?
Well, a lot of it comes down to the start they got. And Padikkal, he was instrumental there.
Ah, yes.
Scored 61 off just 35 balls, his highest this season, I believe. He really just went after the bowling early on.
61 off 35. That's some serious hitting. How vital is that kind of explosive start in a T20 chase, especially on a tricky pitch?
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's not just the runs, though those are obviously important. It's about the pressure it puts on the fielding side immediately.
Right.
Punjab would have had their plans, their bowling matchups, but Padikkal's aggression forces them to change things up, maybe bring on bowlers earlier than they wanted, adjust fields constantly. It disrupts everything.
It's that early chaos.
Exactly. And that disruption, it allows the other batsman, in this case Virat Kohli, to maybe settle in a bit more easily against an attack that's already been put under the pump.
Makes total sense. You have the aggressor, Padikkal, and then the anchor, Kohli. He played that part perfectly, didn't he?
Yeah.
70 off 54 balls. Quite a contrast in style.
It is, yeah. And that contrast is often what makes a successful chasing pair. Padikkal hits the boundaries, keeps the required rate in check early on.
Takes the risks.
Right. And then Kohli, he anchors it, rotates the strike, finds the odd boundary, but crucially, he stays there, ensures there's no major collapse through those middle overs, which can happen so easily in T20. His pacing was pretty masterful, actually.
Did Punjab have moments where they felt they could pull it back? They brought on the spinners. Harpreet Brar got Padikkal out eventually. Did the momentum wobble for RCB then?
Well, getting Padikkal was definitely a boost for Punjab. You always feel you have a chance when you break a big partnership like that.
Sure.
But the issue for them was Kohli was still there, and he looked so set. So while a new batsman comes in, Kohli's presence just sort of calmed things down for RCB. Punjab needed another quick wicket straight after that to really build pressure, and they couldn't quite manage it.
And then towards the end, Jitesh Sharma chips in with a quick cameo. Kohli stays composed, and they win with, 7 balls to spare? Pretty comfortable finish.
Yeah, 7 balls is quite comfortable in the end.
Yeah.
It just showed they had the chase under control pretty much throughout. They absorbed the pressure points, like Padikkal getting out, and just kept ticking along towards the target. Never really looked panicked.
Okay, so let's dig into some of those key moments you mentioned. First, Padikkal's dominance in the power play, particularly overs 4 to 6. What exactly was he doing so well there? And maybe just remind us why that power play phase is so critical.
Right. The power play, those first 6 overs where only 2 fielders are allowed outside the 30-yard circle, it's just a huge opportunity for batsmen to score quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And Padikkal, he didn't just target the pace bowlers. He went after the spinners, too, when they came on. He wasn't letting anyone settle. Hitting boundaries consistently in that phase just puts the fielding captain under immense pressure right away.
Forces their hand early.
Precisely. They have to react, change the plan, and he just seemed to hit the ball so cleanly during that period.
You also mentioned a specific 6. He hit off Stoinis. I think it was in the 11th over. You felt that was more than just 6 runs.
Yeah, I mean, it came after the power play things had maybe settled slightly. For him to then hit a big six like that off a key all-rounder like Stoinis, it just felt like a statement. Like RCB were saying, we're not letting up here. Psychologically, that can be quite deflating for the bowling side. It reinforced who had the momentum.
Then Padikkal gets out over 12. Brar gets him. You said it wasn't a major turning point because Kohli was still there. But surely getting the set, aggressive batsman out gives the bowling side some opening, right? A chance to squeeze.
Oh, it definitely gives them an opening. Absolutely. But the key is capitalizing on it. With Kohli there, experienced, calm, he could manage that situation.
Guide the new batter.
Exactly. Absorb a few dot balls if needed, make sure the run rate didn't suddenly spike. If Punjab had managed to, say, bowl 2 really tight overs right after that wicket, maybe picked up another one, then it becomes a turning point. But Kohli's presence just prevented them from building that immediate pressure effectively enough.
Got it. And the final moment you flagged was Kohli's little burst in the 17th over. 6 and a 4 off Chahal. Why was that specific moment so crucial so late in the game?
Well, you're getting towards the crunch time, aren't you?
Yeah.
The required rate might still be, manageable, but a bit of pressure can build if you have a quiet over or two.
Yeah, it can creep up.
So for Kohli to hit those 2 boundaries back-to-back off a quality spinner like Chahal, it just broke the back of the chase, really. It eased any pressure that might have been building, brought the required rate right down, and essentially put the result beyond doubt. Took the fight out of Punjab at a critical time.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit to the tactics and maybe some debate points. You raised an interesting one about the player of the match. Kohli got it for the 70 not out, but you argued Padikkal's 61 might have been sort of more impactful. Expand on that a bit.
Yeah, look, Kohli's innings was absolutely vital. You need that stability, that experience to see a chase home, no question.
Sure.
But Padikkal's innings, it shaped the entire context of the chase. By scoring so quickly, so aggressively up front, he created a buffer. He made it so RCB were always ahead of the required rate, or very close to it.
Set the platform.
Exactly. It meant Kohli didn't have to come in under scoreboard pressure. He could play his natural anchoring game because Padikkal had already done the explosive work. So it's that classic debate. Is it the person who sets it up or the person who finishes it off? You could argue Padikkal's innings put RCB in a position where it was theirs to lose.
That's a great point. It's about defining value in T20, isn't it? Not just runs, but when and how they're scored.
Precisely.
You also gave a nod to the RCB bowlers, Hazelwood and Bhuvneshwar, especially at the death. We do tend to focus on the batting fireworks sometimes.
You do, yeah. But restricting Punjab in those final overs, say 70 to 20, was just as important. Keeping that total down to 157, especially if the pitch wasn't that slow, required real skill and execution.
Tight lines, good variations.
All of it. That control at the death meant the target was always chaseable. Their bowlers deserve a lot of credit for setting up the win, too.
And a key moment that didn't happen for Punjab, that potential run-out, Kohli and Patidar mix-up in the 15th. How big a miss was that?
Oh, potentially huge. Getting Kohli out then, a set batsman, deep into the chase, that could have changed everything.
Brings in a new batter under pressure.
Exactly. Disrupts the partnership, maybe adds 5, 10 runs to the required total psychologically. In T20, you have to take those chances, those half chances even. Failing to capitalize on a clear mix-up like that, well, it really hurts. That would have been a moment Punjab looked back on for sure.
And finally, tactically, you loved that Kohli ram shot over short third man. What did that signify for you?
Yeah, it was just brilliant. It showed his confidence, first off. To play a shot like that, which requires touch and invention under pressure.
Not just brute force.
No, not at all. It's skill. It blends like traditional timing with modern 360-degree batting. It also signals to the opposition, I'm seeing the ball well, I'm in control, I can score anywhere. It was just a moment of real class.
So wrapping this up then, RCB, they seem to be hitting their stride. Kohli composed, Padikkal firing, the bowling unit clicking. Looks good for them heading towards the playoffs.
Yeah, they definitely look like a team with momentum. Winning away from home consistently is a really positive sign at this stage of the tournament. They seem to have found a good balance.
Whereas for Punjab Kings, it sounds like it's back to the drawing board a bit after this one.
They've got some thinking to do, yeah.
Yeah.
They need to figure out how to turn these close games into wins, find that consistency. Time's running out for them.
And looking ahead quickly, Mumbai Indians versus Chennai Super Kings next up. That's always a massive clash.
Oh, always. El Clasico of the IPL, some call it. Yeah, huge game. Big implications for the table again. Should be another cracker.
Definitely one to watch. So just a final thought to leave us with, thinking about this RCB chase. You had Padikkal's aggression, Kohli's stability. What does that contrast tell us about chasing in T20 these days? How vital is having both those kinds of players?
That's a great question. I think it highlights that there isn't just one way to win a T20 game, especially when chasing. You need that adaptability.
Having someone who can explode early and put the opposition under immediate pressure is invaluable. It changes the game dynamic. But equally, you need players who can navigate the middle overs, handle pressure, and steer the ship home calmly. The best teams, it seems, have that blend the power hitters and the accumulators who can adapt their game. It's probably that combination that gives you the best chance across different conditions and situations.